Thank you, and with that, we will take your questions.
Hey folks, thanks, and we've just got a couple minutes for questions, but if you've got a question, just state your name and outlet and ask your question. Are there any questions on the line?
Hello?
Okay, well, hearing none, folks, if you need anything from me throughout the day, just give me a call. I'll send out a couple questions.
Brian?
For jumping on.
Hey.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Brian?
Yes?
We have a question.
I think there's a question.
Take us off mute, dude.
You guys are all off mute?
Hey, Brian.
Jim Nolan.
Let me ask you, anybody on the call, you guys have come out with another appeal. Ken Cuccinelli, that was that. We're not talking about the elephant in the room. Governor McDonald, who accepted far more in the way of gifts from Star Scientific than Ken Cuccinelli has, or at least his family. Yesterday he said he didn't have to disclose any of that. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Well, Frank, listen, I think you guys are doing a pretty good job with Governor McDonald, and I think, there's been some pretty widespread coverage of the relationship with Star Scientific as well. This is an important issue, I think, in this gubernatorial race as Virginians are starting to make a decision about who they want to put in their next seat. Virginia has a precedent of these attorneys general stepping down. Cuccinelli has broken that precedent, and I think this really, the subject of this call is this underscores the critical imperative for him to follow that precedent, not only because he's distracted, but because he's got some very serious issues to explain to Virginians. So, Governor McDonald is governor. He has been elected. He obviously should explain further and answer these questions about his relationship with this.
Can we get a lawmaker to talk, Brian? No.
This call is to make sure Virginians know, as they begin to make their minds up about this race, that there's a man in the Attorney General's office who has raised these very serious questions and refused to step down over these and others.
Bob,
you want me to take a stab at that?
Absolutely, Don. Does that loophole need to be closed?
I think it does. I think it needs to be closed, but I don't want to take away from the point of today's press conference. Look, it is the job of every attorney to avoid the appearance of impropriety. That's canon number one. That's drilled into our brains as young lawyers or law students in law school. How Ken Cuccinelli doesn't know that he has $10,000 worth of stock in a company that's adverse to him is beyond my comprehension. All law firms run conflict checks. All law firms do this sort of thing. He is the head of the state's largest law firm and failed to even do the most simple, basic conflicts checks to see if his office should be handling a particular case. That is a failure in being a lawyer. That is a failure in being the chief lawyer of the state's largest law firm or largest public law firm. That's the issue. What we do next year about closing the family loophole, not that it's unimportant, but the issue of today is Ken Cuccinelli doing what he should be doing as Attorney General, and how do his failures impact this gubernatorial race?
Do you have any other questions, folks?
Yeah, this is Marcus Schmidt with the Times-Dispatch. I have a question to a different topic. Is everyone's done on the Cuccinelli issue?
Yeah, it would be great if you got a question on another issue. Why don't you just send me an email, Marcus?
Yeah, I did that. I tried to get some responses yesterday, but I didn't hear back from you guys.
Oh, yeah, send me an email.
Hello?
All right, folks, thanks for joining us, and just give me a call throughout the day.